Transportation Infrastructure Commission to order. It is Tuesday, September 21st. The time is 6:39. Liana, would you please call roll?
Chair Abelson,
Here.
Commissioner Fisher,
Here.
Commissioner Liu,
Here.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Here.
Commissioner Hughes is absent today. And then I'm not sure yet about Councilmember Primuth.
Okay, great. And with this for staff, we have Gassan Chalet and Liana DeWitt. All right, Commissioner Dunlap, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Sure thing, Chair. Please stand if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, first item is public comment. Do we have any public comment tonight? All right, please step forward. All right, good evening.
Evening. I actually have two public comments tonight. The first one concerns repaving the roads in our city. I strongly urge you to consider a sustainable material rather than the traditional asphalt. Traditional asphalt makes the streets feel hot. It reflects the heat onto nearby buildings. When it breaks down, it emits particles that contribute to air pollution. An example of a sustainable material is E-pave. As a light color, reducing the heat island effect, or color can be added to emphasize crosswalks or bike lanes. It is manufactured with no ingredients that are harmful to the environment. Much more information can be found at their website.
I'm sorry, did you say E-pave?
E-pave, E-P-A-V-E,
Okay, thank you.
LLC.com.
Great. Thank you.
And I'm sure there are other materials out there. For roads that need more than resurfacing, I urge you to research recycled or repurposed materials that are safe for the environment. I know there has been work done in this area. I just don't know any in this Los Angeles area that have done it. Otherwise, I'd tell you about it. Please do the research and make our city as sustainable and livable as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a second public comment, and this concerns the intersection of westbound Gravalia to northbound Fair Oaks, which was spoken about last time as a Measure M. And I listened with interest to the discussion last meeting, in particular to the proposal to the lanes farther south to address the turning radius issue. However, that does not address the problem of vehicles switching lanes after they have made the right turn onto Fair Oaks. That is, vehicles from the right-hand Gravalia lane moving to the left to get onto the freeway, and vehicles from the left-hand Gravalia lane moving to the right, either to turn onto State Street or into the shopping center. I feel that an approach that does not reduce the lane switching is incomplete. I propose for consideration, along with the other measures, steps that you're taking on this, having the right-hand Gravalia lane turned into both of the right-hand Fair Oaks lanes that continue north. The left-hand Gravalia lane turned into both of the lanes that go to the freeway, as well as turning left to go south on Fair Oaks. This should reduce the number of vehicles that change lanes, and it will address the turning radius issue. This will require restriping along with signs along Gravalia to alert drivers they need to pick the lane they need. On a related note, there are parking spots on the north side of Gravalia in the block of Bristol Farms. I have never seen those used. The parking spots could be removed and that lane used for something else. Perhaps, the extra lane that is needed in the current proposal, or it could be used as a bike lane, especially if the pedestrian ramp at the corner is redone so that no longer intrudes into that lane. I hope you keep these thoughts in mind as you pursue both short and long-term solutions to this intersection. Again, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Both very wise and appreciated comments. Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? I appreciate your comments, and I think, while we're not allowed to discuss a public comment that isn't on the agenda, I think regarding this, the lane that you stay in from Revelia to Fair Oaks, needs to be looked at as part of the traffic count that will be taken to look at the off-ramp traffic. So I think that information needs to be looked at. But on your other comment regarding E-pave, what materials is E-paved composed of?
That I don't know. Unfortunately, actually, if you go to their website, it does have more information about that. It's something long, poly something or other.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a long name, poly something.
Polycarbonate or something?
Doesn't sound familiar, but could be.
Well, it'd be helpful if you shared it with the Public Works staff so that they could look into it.
Yes. I believe I did send an email yesterday to to public comment here and public comment at Public Works. And I believe I sent it to NREC as well and to my council member, Michael Cacciotti. So I was hoping that would get forwarded to all of you because it does have a little bit more information in there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I just have Mr. Dunlap, did you want to say anything about the E-pave? I saw your.
I think the city of Los Angeles piloted it a couple years back. So in the San Fernando Valley, there may be some local case studies as to using that material. But I appreciate those comments and bringing them to our attention. Thank you.
And I was just curious, issue 2 is near and dear to the hearts of at least a couple of us up here. And we've been dealing with the Revelia Fair Oaks issue for years now. I just wonder, I know, and your concerns need to be taken into consideration with both the short and long-term projects. I was thinking extremely short-term. Is there anything that we should think about doing? I don't know if it's an additional signage or cat tracks or anything like that that might help, at least in the interim, address this concern. I wonder.
That is possible. Let me look into it first before I say anything. Signage, possibly, though. To modify the lanes or probably widen the lanes would be, I would say, not because we don't have enough or sufficient pavement. So to add additional lane would be difficult at this point, unless if we widen the curb return.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking if there was a short-term way to deal with what essentially is being
Yeah,
described.
for
as
that
crisscross
crossing of
right?
traffic, correct.
Yeah.
So signage, it could be probably an option after I look into it.
All right, thank you. All right, any other public comments? No, okay. Let's see, next item up. Number 2, approval of the minutes of our last regular meeting on August 17th, which I think are part of the packet here. I think the draft that was distributed included comments I had made, and I believe Commissioner Hughes as well. Does anybody else have any suggestions, corrections? Oh,
I do.
oh,
yeah. That's regarding Commissioner Liu. He stated that he he thinks there is a mechanism for residents to submit information on accidents that are not reported to the police department. After we have discussed that with the police department a few days ago, we found out that residents can call 626-403-6297 to report all accidents that are not reported at the day of the accident.
Okay. So that's not a correction to the minutes. You're just following up on
That's correct.
what you told us you would do, which is appreciated.
Sure thing.
I know this is not about approving minutes, but I wonder that's news to me. I'll bet that's news to a lot of people that you can call a number and report accidents after the fact.
Honestly, I was kind of shocked that I
Yeah.
heard that from the police
So-
department. I was happy though, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
I-
That things can be reported after the fact.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So putting on my Commissioner Hughes hat for a moment, I wonder whether there's a way that this could be made known, to folks involved in accidents. I don't know if it's our commission or it's the city manager or it's the police department or who, but it'd be great if there was a way that this information could be, people could be made aware of this.
Well,
What do you have any ideas?
we can probably put it on our website. That would be the best idea at this point.
It'd be great if. and-
Yeah, if I'm gonna look into it if we can just, add it to our website.
And I wonder if it's appropriate for the police department to have it. on
That's the
their-
thing. That's another thing. Maybe we can consult with the police department first before we go the extra mile and put it in our.
Yeah, because I don't think most people would think. of
'Cause I never
public
seen it that
works about an accident, unless it was caused by some public roadway condition or something. But
Yeah.
so if you wouldn't mind following up with whoever you spoke.
Will
at
do.
the Police department, ask if that's something they can put on their website or something, that would be
Will
great.
do.
Can I ask for clarification? When you say report on an accident after the fact, does that mean an accident that occurred on the same day, a week later, a year later? What does that mean?
That's a good question. I would assume that a report or can be probably reported, not anytime, not after a year, but at least within sufficient time or appropriate time to be reported to the police.
So if I say I
But-
saw a car run off the road on March 3rd, it would be what, documented by the city as a verbal report, but declared what, unverifiable?
I need to verify that with the police department regarding the time and how they can probably report it in their own data system.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So any revisions? Commissioner Fisher?
Yeah, I just had a small one under number 3, second paragraph, end of first sentence. Sentence says, the commission requested the following information for the segment on Meridian Avenue from Kendall to Oak Street. And I wanted to add to the end of the sentence, to inform on appropriate future traffic control measures. Colon. So we requested the information to inform us on appropriate future traffic control.
Yeah, okay.
To inform on appropriate future traffic control measures.
Okay. Anything else? No, okay. Okay. No, and I'm hearing no further suggested revisions. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Okay, Commissioner Liu moves. Have a second? All right, Commissioner Fisher seconds. Do I need to, you need to call this, Liana, or can I call it? I'll call it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, minutes approved as amended 4-0. Thank you very much. And I think we have one more set of minutes to take a look at. I think it's at the end of the packet. The minutes of our special meeting on September 8th. And again, my comments were already included, so I don't have anything further. Does anybody have anything they wish to change, revise, add, take away? The very end. You got it? Okay. Pretty short. Okay. Nothing. Okay. And hearing nothing. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Commissioner Liu moves. Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion to approve the minutes as submitted passes 4-0. Great. Thanks very much. Well, that completes our action items. It's not even 8 o'clock. Okay, so now we move on to commission-led discussion. So first up is item 4, SR 710 Mobility Improvement Projects Ad Hoc Committee. I would just ask Ghassan if he can come forward and let us know if he has any updates with regard to the Fair Oaks projects, the Rogan Fund project, anything like that. And if not, that's okay. And then we're talking about Measure R later, I know.
At this point, for item number 4, I don't have any additional comments.
Okay. And then, so the Rogan funded ITS project that was awarded by the council already,
That is correct.
and
Still the same.
okay, and that is do we have has the contract signed with the
For the Rogan Fund,
for the ITS on Fair Oaks, you know?
let me double check. I don't think so, but let me double check. on
Okay,
that.
but that was the one that was approved, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and nothing else from staff and nothing else from us, I don't think, on SR 710, right?
Nothing.
Okay. Ramona Avenue Neighborhood Traffic Management Ad Hoc Committee. I can report for the committee that we are meeting again with staff in the field a week from Thursday, so September 30th, to take another look at the drop-off traffic at both Holy Family School and at the high school, and hopefully to try to finalize and move forward with at least some of the recommendations that the committee developed.
Sure. And the meeting will be at 7:45,
Yes,
as we discussed.
yes.
Yeah.
Very early.
Just to make sure everyone will be there.
Oh, yes, you're all invited. Okay, anything else? No, nothing else from Ramona, right? Okay. So number 6, COVID-19 Ad Hoc Committee. So I'll just ask Commissioners Dunlap and Liu if there's anything they wish to share.
Thank you, Chair. First, I'll ask Ghassan, do you have an update from the staff on the Arroyo Fest repurposing grant?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we're aware that, the active SGB has begun some outreach to private stakeholders and businesses along Mission regarding things that they would like to see. Commissioner Liu and I have provided some high level feedback on some concepts for that street to solicit outreach for. And so some of the input received from the business owners has been, concerned with the current aesthetics of Mission Street as far as like the outdoor dining expansions and kind of questions around how long those would be in place. Generally, the businesses are interested in seeing greening and planters and baskets, some more tree lighting, and Mission Street really done in a way that's cohesive and is well thought out from end to end. So that's just some of the feedback that we've received through the grapevine. But that's the update that we have. Commissioner Liu, do you have anything to add?
No updates. I would add that we reviewed the presentation that Active SGV prepared for this round of outreach. We found it to be honest and pretty truthful about what the concept would look like and what the project would entail. And so we're happy with what Active SGV is moving forward with in terms of outreach, and are eagerly awaiting the results of the outreach and whether the community supports it or not. So that's where we're at with it.
Yeah, with the idea that it would somewhat couple that traffic study. The traffic study would really cover the technical components, but hopefully through this outreach, some valuable feedback can be obtained from the businesses who will be affected by any potential decision on Mission.
So I just have a question, I'm going to attend one of them later this week with the chamber, so I'll see for myself. But at a high level, what does that presentation show in terms of the concepts for Mission Street? Is it the one lane in each direction, parklets, that type of thing, or?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
One lane in each direction. What parking could look like, and it seems like it's more to just kind of gain initial reactions to. Nothing's really like finalized as part of that. But yeah, just high level one lane in each direction. If you had angle parking, what kind of would that look like? What would be the concerns with that to help, I think, really inform the conversation with the businesses that, if something like this were to happen, a business owner could see like, oh, this is how it's going to specifically affect my driveway or the parking spots in front of in my unit or my business. So it was very high level. It wasn't a lot of engineering or detail to it. So hopefully that, like, with those, they'll get some input from the businesses that's valuable.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Commissioner Fisher, you have a comment?
Yeah, as part of the overall discussion about what the new configuration might look like and such, are you also discussing the delay at the goal line and the delay that occurs today with the 2 approach lanes and the queuing that occurs around 5 o'clock in the evening? Are you looking at how you might address that if you narrow it down?
So I believe that's being studied by the traffic study that is part of this project that's being conducted, I believe, by not Active SGV, but not Active SGV, but by a actual traffic consultant. But when we were looking at the initial concepts, we both recommended that they maintain the number of approach lanes. We noticed that in very rough early concepts, there were some omissions of existing approach lanes. And we do understand that in order to keep service rates at the intersections, at the very least, we want to keep existing turn lanes, the existing number of approach lanes, things like that. So it seems like from what we've seen, that the project would focus mainly on a reduction of mid-block lanes as opposed to intersection approaches.
Who's doing the traffic study?
By Terrace.
Hi, Terrace. Correct.
Traffic studies, yeah, at Terrace will be doing the traffic study project for us.
And Commissioner Liu and I can provide, high level best practices. However, it really, city staff, it's up to city staff to really, along with Iteris to really provide, some of those really detailed comments about how it might affect operation of the gold line, as well as, turning movements, what volume data do you have? It's going to be critical. Yeah, Commissioner Liu and I were not giving direction to the consultants, we were just engaged, just like some of the other stakeholders were engaged in the process. So we wanted to kind of report out on our involvement, but we hope that certainly any reconfiguration needs to have a more detailed, thorough look by city staff with the traffic study.
Sure. The minute we met with them last week, and we are going to meet with them probably within the next 2 weeks. Any updates? Definitely, I will probably discuss it with MPEC, with you gentlemen. And if in case, I know that our meeting will be in monthly basis. If that is needed, probably I will contact Commissioner Clary and to let him know of the outcome of the meeting with Ateris, if it is needed. Is that good enough?
I think we're happy for any update when it's.
Yeah. So far, I have no update at all with Ateris. They just started doing the work.
What's the timeline for the ITERIS traffic study? When do you expect results?
I would say within 2 weeks.
Within what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, at the most. They might come back to us probably by next week.
Wait, with the results of their study?
At least of where they are with the study, not the results, just
Oh,
where
what-
they are with the
Oh,
study.
okay, all right.
No, because they're gonna go
Got me
with us.
excited there. for a
No,
second.
no, they're gonna go with us step by step instead of just hand over the study to us with this is the study and they have completed it. They're gonna go step by step with us where they are with the study, and if we have, and they're waiting for our comments if we have any, so they can continue with it.
Okay, so maybe I was clear. So when you, and I know I understand it's sort of a phased approach. When do you expect sort of the final reports, conclusion?
I can double check with them. I can check with them. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that one yet.
The other thing I was thinking is it might be to the extent he's available, since Wes with Active SGB is the one conducting this outreach, it'd be great perhaps at our next meeting if he's available to come and share with us the results of his meetings and where he thinks this is headed and that kind of thing. Do you think that's something you can ask him to do? If he's
Sure,
available and willing?
sure. I will ask.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Anything else on the,
Actually, I have one follow-up comment. Ghassan, I emailed you the other day. Did you get my email about the quote for the barriers, the car barriers that I looked into?
Honestly, I couldn't get a quote for the barrier at this point, but definitely I'm still working on it.
Oh, no, because I got a quote. They called me over the weekend with a quote for those mobile barriers. So I was just wondering if there's consideration on staff side to still use some of that grant funding to maybe purchase some of those barriers.
Let me look. I haven't looked
yeah.
into it, but I will look
Okay.
into it, definitely.
Sounds good.
what are these for?
These are car barriers that you see in front of the Rose Bowl, the ones that have wheels on them. They're designed to be movable by one person.
Oh.
So when I called the website, because they obviously don't put prices on their website, they gave me a verbal quote and then subsequently gave me a quote via email that I forwarded on to city staff over the weekend.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. Anything else on the open, slow streets, COVID-19, et cetera? Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure thing. But
I do
keep in mind one thing: slow streets to be done by Alta will not be started till the traffic study is completed, as you guys know.
I do have a question
Sure.
regarding the expanded outdoor dining. Is there a sunset date for that? Have there been any discussions on? a
No
sunset date?
discussion for that one
Okay.
yet.
Thank you.
Sure.
And when you talk about, you're talking about the Slow Streets program on Mission. That's what you're
On
talking
mission, correct.
And that's sort of what I was thinking
you.
about when I asked about the timeline for this conclusion of the study. Given the time frame within which we're working here, I was trying to get a sense of.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be only on mission, and that's going to be very sensitive timing. That's why they need to come back to us. I'm talking about Iteris with some, with some answers. So we can transfer all this information to Alta, so they can proceed with their work.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure thing.
All right, next up, item 7, preferential parking policy ad hoc committee. This is here primarily as a placeholder. And I know Commissioners Liu and Dunlap gave their presentation a few months ago. And as I understand it, there's nothing's moving forward at this time. Have you heard anything to the contrary? No. Okay. Okay. Moving right along to item 8, City Council Liaison Communications. Our City Council Liaison is not present. And I'll just confirm with Liana, he hasn't submitted anything in writing. Okay. So we'll move. Wow, it's 7:10. It's like an alternate reality. So item 9, Commissioner Communications. I'll go left to right. Commissioner Dunlap, anything you wish to share with us?
I do have, since we have a little bit extra time, but I'll try to keep it under the 3 minutes. I don't know I guess I could email you a traffic concern, but I know last year, one of the recommendations from the commission was to turn on the northbound right turn overlap at Fremont and Huntington Drive. So that overlap, it was a 512 vehicle head, and it was covered, the bottom two, where the arrows were covered for a while, and then it was opened up and the right turn arrow was turned on. However, when that was turned on, it then restricted U-turns. So now westbound on Huntington, you can't make a U-turn there. And the closest place to make a U-turn is you have to go all the way down. You go down to Alhambra Road if you want to make a legal U-turn. And that pocket is really short. And I think a lot of people will just kind of make the U-turn at Maple, but currently there's a no U-turn restriction sign there. So most people just ignore that U-turn because they can't make a U-turn at Fremont. They can't make a U-turn at Maple. They have to go down to Alhambra Road with a short left turn pocket. So is there a way that you can possibly look into that circulation to see, if that's the optimum place to make a U-turn, to have to go all the way down to Alhambra Road, or if there's a place maybe sooner to make that U-turn?
Thank you for your comment. Definitely, I will look into it. The way we're going to look for other items, I will look at the no U-turn sign, and if we need to, probably whatever we need to make it easy for the drivers.
Yeah, I know you have a lot on your list.
I have a lot,
not to add
but
one
that's
more.
okay. I can add one more to it.
Yeah,
to
it's
look into it.
so the properties on the south side of Huntington, really between Fremont and Marengo, to access those properties,
Okay.
if you're traveling westbound on Huntington, you really need to make a U-turn somewhere. So as soon as if they can't make it at Fremont, then if they can make it at Maple safely, then that would be I think a little bit more convenient. Thank you.
I will look into it. If there is enough pavement, definitely we will make it usable for U-turn. But I will look into it and I'll do some measurement myself.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you very much. Anything else? Okay, Commissioner Fisher.
Just a quick question for the Deputy Public Works Director. A couple meetings ago, I commented that as you drive outbound on the 110 freeway, approaching the South Pasadena boundary, that they used to be able to see the rock sign that says South Pasadena. But the grass is overgrown over the rocks. The bushes alongside the freeway are, haven't been trimmed, and thus you can't see the sign anymore. What actions are being taken to restore the view of the South Pasadena sign?
Okay, we looked into it already, and we came up with, we have a contract with WCA, which is our purchase, and the contract has been expired. We're working on that contract to, probably to get it approved with the city council. The minute we get this contract WCA approved, definitely we will use them to trim all the trees to make sure that this South Pasadena sign would be visible to all drivers on the freeway.
And what about the overgrown grass?
The grass, you're talking about the grass right behind it?
The grass that is overgrown over the rocks.
Okay, we will look into it. We'll see if WCA also as well will be able to remove it as well. We need to work out with the new contract WCA,
Okay, so
West Coast. I'm
at
sorry.
our next meeting, could you comment on the status of the contract with WCA?
I can tell you right now that we are working on the contract with WCA West Coast. And hopefully we'll be on our city council meeting next time for approval. So the minute we get the WCA contract approved, definitely we'll get them into work to clean up the area by trimming the trees and remove all the bushes and the grass.
Great, thank you.
Sure thing.
Commissioner Liu?
No communications. Thank you.
So I'll just tag along on the last subject. So we recently adopted a large dog, and I've been walking him through the arroyo, and I discovered the walkway right below the City of South Pasadena sign that you can't see from the freeway. And at the first time I walked by it, or walked up that ramp that leads up to Arroyo Drive, and saw the rock and how it's covered up, and it reminded me of Commissioner Fisher's comment a few months ago about this very issue. And I reached out to Ghassan, who was very receptive, and discussed with them what I saw, which is that there's a huge hedge next to this walkway that's on our property that blocks the view. There's the grass that you mentioned that I hadn't seen, and then there's also the brush along the freeway, which I guess is a Caltrans issue. But I think if we clear the brush and trim the trees and the grass that's on our property, I think you'll be able to see that sign, which is very well lit up at night. I noticed. I don't know if you noticed. I walked by there and I just got these really bright LED lights on this, and the problem is you just can't see it because it's blocked. So anyway, it's Ghassan hopped on it, and it looks like it's going to be done in relatively short order. And it's been quite a while, I think, since we've been able to see that. It's a landmark for our city. So
Honestly, never was mentioned or never brought to our attention till Commissioner Fisher, just talked about it 2 meetings ago. Thank you very much. I remember.
Because no one could see it out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. And with Commissioner Larry, definitely he approached me, he called me, he talked to me about it. Then a few days after, went to the site, and he was right. Need to be done, whenever we can, after we get the contract approved.
that's great. Thank you.
Thank
Ghassan.
you very much.
And then I'll just briefly mention that the city of Pasadena is working on a project with Caltrans that looks like it will result in the relinquishment of the 710 freeway stub area back to the city of Pasadena. It's a large project. It's to accomplish it, it's going to take quite some time, but it's very exciting, and gives us hope that the streets that are affected by the stub traffic will at some point be returned to the neighborhoods, and that there will be a neighborhood there once again, maybe in our lifetime, who knows? So I was just, that little glimmer of hope was nice to see last week. Next up, staff liaison communications, update on the NTMP.
NTMP will be presented to the city council, hopefully by the 20th of October. And hopefully we don't miss that deadline. If we do, we'll be the one after. But our plan is to present it to the city council by October 20th.
And it's finished, right?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ghassan.
thank you.
And while you're here, so we have measure our projects, SR 110 Fair Oaks interchange study, RFP development, if you have anything.
The RFP draft has been completed. Now it's under review to finalize it. So it's just a matter of time just to go over it probably a couple of more times to make sure everything has been done properly in the report. Then we will finalize it and approve it.
That for the federal synergy?
Yes. Yes, correct.
Okay, and my recollection is that the two subcommittee members, Mr. Chair Abelson and myself, are going to be allowed to review that before.
I wasn't aware of it, but definitely I'll bring it to their attention. Yes, for sure.
That was in the stand.
I understand that. Okay, I'll put it on my agenda as well.
Thank you, Ghassan.
Sure.
Anything else from staff you'd like to share with us? Liana?
Thank you. I just need to thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, well, it looks like we've, wow. We've come to the end of our agenda in less than an hour, which is record time. So if there's nothing further, no objection, I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
It's amazing, in the 8 years I've been a commissioner, this is the shortest meeting